I bet you all know what speedrunning is, as it has become quite popular these days. In this video I will tell you everything you need to know about Doom speedrunning if you want to do some speedrunning yourself, or if you just want to know more on the subject. Doom has a very active speedrunning scene, because aside from the several commercially released games, Doom has a practically infinite number of user-created levels, also known as PVODs. Of course, there's a lot of competition in speedrunning levels from the commercial releases and levels from the popular PVODs. But if you look at the list of available demos on Doom Speed Demos archive, you might be surprised by the fact that there's a lot of demos of less popular, obscure levels. Perhaps, if you beat a record and brag about it enough, you might create some competition, and that's great. Not only there's an incredible number of levels to beat or speedrun, there's also many different speedrun categories. If you are familiar with the traditional any percent and 100% speedrun categories, you will have to forget them, because Doom uses a different naming scheme. Let's list the most common ones. UV Speed. This is the equivalent of any percent for Doom. Beat the game or level as fast as you can on the Ultra Violence difficulty setting, with no additional restrictions. UV Max. This is the equivalent of 100% for Doom. Beat the game or level on the Ultra Violence difficulty setting with 100 secrets and all monsters dead, excluding Lost Souls. Items are not required. If an Archvile resurrects an enemy, your kill counter could still reach 100%. However, all monsters must be dead when you exit, yielding over 100% in that case. The main exception to this is monsters spawned by the Icon of Sin. Since they spawn endlessly, you do not need to kill them. NM Speed. Beat the game or level as fast as you can on the Nightmare difficulty setting, with no additional restrictions. NM100S. Beat the game or level as fast as you can on the Nightmare difficulty setting, but collect 100% secrets. UV Fast. This is the same as UV Max, but recorded with a fast command line parameter. This results in fast monsters, which behave similarly to monsters on the Nightmare difficulty, but without the respawning. This category is often confused with UV Speed. UV Respawn. Beat the game or level on the Ultra Violence difficulty setting with at least 100 kills and secrets as seen on the score screen, recorded with the respawn command line parameter. This results in enemies that respawn like they do on the Nightmare difficulty. The advanced HUD ability to track monster kills gives a significant advantage in this category, but we'll talk about that later. UV Tyson. Beat the game or level on the Ultra Violence difficulty setting with all monsters dead as per UV Max, but with the restriction of only using weapons on 1 and 2, pistol, fist and chainsaw. You do not need to collect secrets in this category. UV Pacifist. This is the same as UV Speed, with the added restriction of not damaging any monsters. For the purpose of this category, monsters include Romero heads, Commander King hanged bodies, and Lost Souls. Here are some specific restrictions. You cannot deal direct damage to a monster. You cannot damage a monster indirectly through splash damage. You cannot shoot a barrel which eventually explodes and damages the monster, even if it was ultimately blown up by a monster. You can activate crushers to damage monsters. You can teleport into monsters in order to kill them, telefragging. You can provoke infighting, getting monsters to attack each other. You can fire weapons that don't damage a monster, for example to shoot a switch or to wake them up. You can damage yourself, for example to perform a rocket jump. The rules for this category used to be different, with intent-based restrictions on using telefrags and crushers, but they were reworked in 2020. I'm glad that it happened, because now the rules are much more clear. No Mo. This is the same as UV Speed, but recorded with the No Monsters command line option. This clears the map of monsters, so you can focus purely on movement optimization. No Mo 100S. The same as No Mo, but with the additional goal of collecting 100% secrets. Stroller. This is the same as UV Pacifist, but with the additional restriction of no strafing, and recorded with a Turbo 50 command line option, which sets running speed to walking. Collector. Exit with all weapons picked up using the no monsters parameter. That's all the standard categories. There are some other non-standard categories, such as playing on an easier difficulty setting. Also, it should be noted that there are levels where it is impossible or incredibly difficult to get 100% kills or secrets. In such cases, it is allowed to skip the bugged or otherwise unattainable secrets or monsters. Now, not only there are different categories, there are also additional modifiers that can be applied to each category. Records are tracked separately for each one of them. TAS, or Tool-Assisted Speedruns, use tools to rewind time, slow down the game, read your coordinates, or edit the demo frame by frame. Technically, even placing something heavy on your keyboard to make SR50 easier is also considered to be a tool for this purpose. Passing tool-assisted speedruns as normal speedruns is a form of cheating that is obviously frowned upon. In general, keep in mind that experienced speedrunners will be able to see if a run is a TAS. Do not cheat. Note that using the Always Run option, turning on and off vertical mouse movement, using the 180-degree turn button, playing the game at a higher resolution than the original environment supported, including widescreen, and using the advanced HUD that shows you things like monster count and runtime is allowed. However, if you use advanced HUD, you should specify that in the text file that will go with your run. Cooperative runs are a thing too. Runs with different numbers of players are tracked separately. What if you want to make things more difficult for yourself by enabling co-op only monsters but you have no friends to speedrun with? Then the solo net command line parameter is for you. There's also reality, also known as no damage runs. And, very rarely, you may see turbo runs that use the turbo XYZ command line parameter. I should mention some additional details about Doom speedrunning. One important rule for all categories is you cannot restart a map after dying. You can die if you exit while dead, but you must restart your run if you have no way of exiting. Also, any category with all secrets or kills requires visiting the secret maps in episode or full game runs. While we're on this topic, there are individual level runs, full game runs, also known as D2 all, and episode runs. While the definition of an episode should be clear in Doom or Ultimate Doom speedruns, for the purpose of Doom 2 speedruns, the first episode is maps from 1 to 10, the second one is from maps from 11 to 20, and the third one is maps 21 to 30. One extra note about episode runs. Historically, Ultimate Doom episode runs were only timed up to map 7, although it was still required to beat the final map. This was because there was no final score screen in the original game. For this reason, you may see two different times for the same run, the time including map 8 and the time only through map 7. If your goal is to beat an episode as fast as possible, you will use a different route than if your goal is to compete directly with an existing legacy record, M7 timing. Which way you choose is ultimately up to you. For other WADs, this distinction is not present, the time including map 8 is what matters. Alright, now you know everything about the categories, but what do you need to actually start speedrunning? This depends on what map set you want to speedrun. In general, the only must-have things are an appropriate source port and a WAD file. For those who are completely new to Doom, a WAD file is where all the data goes. Basically, it's a file that contains maps, resources, and all other modifications. They are separated in two categories: the iWADs, that contain all the base data from the commercially released games, such as Doom.wad, Doom2.wad, TNT.wad, and Plutonia.wad, and the pWADs, that contain user-made levels and resources. Each pWAD is intended to be run in a combination with one of the iWADs. Where do you get iWADs? You buy them. Where do you get pWADs? You download them. All pwords are accompanied by a text file that lists what kind of a source port, if any, you need to run it. There are vanilla pwords that can work with the original Doom executables, limit removing pwords that are basically vanilla ones but require a source port because the original executable cannot handle too many things, boom pwords that require a boom compatible source port but have some advanced features, MBF pwords that are very similar to boom ones but have some additional features and different infighting mechanics, and ZDoom pwords that require a ZDoom based port of a specific version. Honestly, I've never seen a ZDoom pivot speedrun. They are unpopular among speedrunners because ZDoom source ports do not have backwards compatibility. As for the others, PR Boom Plus or DSDA Doom source port can record them, and Crispy Doom can record vanilla and limit removing pivots. And they all are backwards compatible. DSDA Doom is a new source port that is based on a fork of PR Boom Plus, so it works very similarly. It has some new features and parameters specifically made with speedrunning in mind, and it is often updated. I will link them all in the description. Unlike when speedrunning many other games, Doom does not require you to record a video. Forget about fiddling with video capture software and instead learn how to fiddle with demo recording. Demos are small files that can be played using an appropriate executable or source port and that can be analyzed to improve your run, and to detect cheaters too. So, you have a source port, for example PR Boom Plus, an iVOD, for example Doom2.vod, and a pvod, for example sunlast.vod, that you want to speedrun. For simplicity, put both the VODs in the source port folder. Then either create a shortcut of prboomplus.exe or create a bat file in the same directory. Let's inspect what parameters you will need to include. iVOD, for example iVOD doom2.vod. Each pvod description file specifies the iVOD required. File, for example file sunlast.vod. That's the pvod that you want to speedrun. Skill, for example skill 4. That's the difficulty setting. 4 corresponds to ultraviolence, 5 corresponds to nightmare. Warp, for example warp 02. This parameter automatically warps you to a specific level in the map set. For map sets based on Doom 1, the first digit is the episode number, the second digit is the map number. Thus, warp 2-3 would warp you to the third level of the second episode. Comp level, for example comp level 9. Remember when I told you that different pivots require different source ports? This command line parameter forces PR Boom Plus or DSDA Doom to use the settings of a certain compatibility level. This makes some changes to the game logic that accurately reflect the original executables. Here are the compatibility levels relevant to speedrunning. Comp level 2 should be used to play vanilla or limit removing Doom 2 VODs. Comp level 3 should be used to play vanilla or limit removing Ultimate Doom VODs. Comp level 4 should be used to play vanilla or limit removing Final Doom VODs. Comp level 9 should be used to play Boom VODs. Comp level 11 should be used to play MBF VODs. Keep in mind that setting a wrong compatibility level will result in your run being rejected as illegitimate. Long ticks. This causes the demo to use higher precision for turning. This should not be used for the original games, but is allowed for custom maps. Generally, many tricks are harder with this setting. This does not work with comp level 9. Short ticks. As you could glean from long ticks, the game behaves slightly differently in terms of turning precision when playing normally and recording a demo. This parameter can be used to launch the game with short ticks enabled, which changes the mouse movement to be the same as while recording a demo. This is useful for practicing, as you'll have the same experience between practicing and recording. Record, for example record my demo. Finally, this parameter will record the demo and save it under the specified file name, mydemo.lmp in our example. Demos can be played with the playDemo parameter. Additional parameters are required for some categories such as NoMo and UV-Fast. Crispy Doom works similarly, but only supports comp levels 2, 3 and 4. Alright, now you've tortured yourself with hundreds of attempts and got a proper demo file. Where do you submit it? The Doom Speed Demo archive can be found at dsdarchive.com, but this isn't where you submit the demos. To submit the demo, you have to create an account on doomworld.com. On doomworld.com, go to the Doom Speed Demo subforum. There, you can post your demo and probably get an automated response about it being rejected, because you named it wrong or posted it in the wrong thread. I'll try to explain what you need to include in your submission, how to name it, and where to post it. You should try following the established naming convention. If you are not sure, try looking at previously uploaded demos for your VOD. In general, the demo file name should contain a short abbreviation of the VOD name. Full name is also fine in some cases like VODs with short names. Map number, S if secret exit, category letter plus additional parameters if there are any, and time. Do not use any spaces or periods in the file names, use underscores instead. Category letters, UV speed is dash, UV max is M, NM speed is N, NM100S is NS, UV Tyson is T, UV pacifist is P, UV respawn is R, UV fast is F, NoMo is O, NoMo 100S is OS, stroller is STR, collector is COL, and additional parameters are TAS X, coop is C, reality is reality, solonet is SN, turbo is TU. Time should be formatted as HHMMSS. At least 3 digits should be included at the end. If your demo is under 10 seconds, use ticks instead of 00x, if you know how to get them. For Doom 2 episode or full game runs, put E1, E2, E3 or all after the VOD name. If you are uploading iVOD demos, then have a look at how the older demo is named. In the first example, VOD is 2048 units of VR version 1.4. Note that I replaced a period with an underscore. Map is O1, category is T for UV Tyson, time is 4 minutes 19 seconds. In the second example, this is the episode 2 of Eviternity, Nightmare speed in 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second. In the third example, this is Sunlast Map 30, Nightmare 100 Secrets, TAS, in 6 hours, 6 minutes and 6 seconds. In the fourth example, this is Illicit Engineering, Episode 1, Map 1, UV speed in 46 seconds. After you've named your demo file properly, create a text file under the same name. Feel free to copy the text file template from someone else. It needs to contain the following: player name, iVOD, pVOD, map, source port or engine with version number and comp level if using PR Boom, category and time, also kills, items, secrets if it is relevant. Optionally, you may include a recorded date, map name and author, and of course comments or any other information you find relevant, like if advanced HUD is included or not. After this is done, put both files in a zip archive and name it with the same name. Not RAR, not 7Z, only zip, and no folders in the archive, nested zips, only the demo file and the text file. Then find an appropriate thread. This should be easy. Is your demo a new world record? No? Then it goes in the sticky personal best demo thread. It is? Then, if this is a map set, then it most likely has a separate thread for it. If it is a single level VOD or a map set that has no thread, then the demo must be posted in the miscellaneous demos thread. In the latter case, or if you are creating a thread for a map set that does not have a thread, do not forget to provide a VOD download link. Also, just a tip. Speedrunning VODs that are works in progress or public betas that have not been finalized is generally not a good idea. Patience is a virtue. And that's all. You can now go and speedrun your favorite levels. If you have any questions, you can find answers on the Doom Speed Demos subforum, in the speedrunning Discord, or in the comment section below. Have fun!